these are just some of the tricks that I use during lesson to either break the ice, or if I see that the lesson is not going well or the session is not going well, I just do one of them. Or at the end of the session, as a sort of a treat, just trying to get children to engage or re-engage. They all involve mathematics in a way. And the idea is also to maybe use the trick to engage in a mathematical conversation. See if children can maybe use mathematics to try to understand how the game works, and maybe try to get them to try to do the trick with you, see if they can understand how it works, and maybe try to do the trick with you. The first one I came across inside a Christmas cracker, and I was really amazed because for the first time I found something useful inside a Christmas cracker, and it was the mystery calculator. You might have seen this one before. Is 6 individual cards, and if you can, I'll probably have separate cards rather than a sheet of paper, but you can also have a sheet of paper. I will send Lorraine a copy of this presentation so you can just print this slide. But if you have separate cards, I think the trick is more visually appealing than just a sheet of paper. But anyway, and you can also laminate the card so it lasts longer. And it's basically you're trying to guess the number that the child chose. So the trick starts by you asking the child to choose a number from one of the cards. Now, there is another way of playing this, of running this trick. You don't show the cards and just ask the child to think of a number between 1 and 60. But the way I play, I like to show the children the cards and say, look, choose a number. Please, obviously, don't tell me. And I'll try to work out your number by using my mystery calculator. So can I please have a volunteer to choose a number? I'm gonna ask you some questions, and based on your answer, I'll be able to work out the number that you chose. Now, is your number on the first card, the yellow one on the top left? Now, see, if you were using cards, actual physical, usually I leave the card facing up, but if it's not, I turn it down so it's sort of visually interesting. But if it's yes, I'll just circle this one for now. No, is it anyone that can see all the cards? Yes, can you choose a number for me? 1 to 60.
Yeah.
Done. Is your number on the first card, the top left, the yellow card?
Yes.
Yes, I'll just circle that one. Is your number on the green card, the one in the
Yes.
middle, top middle? Yes. Okay. Is your number on the third card, top right, the blue one?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. What about the black card?
Yes.
Is also there? Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay, so I'm going to circle that one as well. Is your number on the bottom middle?
No.
It's not there. Okay,
No.
so what I'll do is I'll cross this one. If you're using a sheet of paper, maybe laminate that sheet of paper so you can just use the sort of a whiteboard pen so you don't actually have to physically cross the paper. Now, what about the last one? Is it on last one?
Yes.
So I'll circle that one. Are you absolutely sure it's on the last one?
Yes.
Is your number 47?
Yes.
That's it, 47. And then hopefully the child will be like, oh my goodness, how did you do that? So now the thing is, the children are clever. They will probably think of ways of finding out how this thing works. They'll probably say, oh, but you can just quickly check a number that is on every single card. And that's why you have to be quite fast in terms of giving the answer. So try to give the answer as fast as you can. If you know how it works, it should be straightforward. So it's not like, oh, I'm just trying to work out by looking at these cards what the number is. So it's actually, it does look like a magic trick. And I think is really cool and extremely simple. The way it works is, Obviously, the child can choose any number they want. All you have to do is identify the cards where the number is, where their number is. And for example, if the card is on the yellow, if the number is on the yellow card, all you have to do is look at the number on the top left of the card. And in that case, is the number 1. So let's say that I chose the number, let me choose a number here. Let's say that I chose the number 11. So let's start again. I chose the number 11. So the 11 is on the first card. So I look at the number on the top left corner is number 1. And then I do the same thing. Is your number on the one in the middle, the green one? Yes. So I focus on the number on the top left, number 2. And as you can see, it's not on the third card, the blue one. And if you look at the black card, it is on the black card. Look at that number there on the top left. It's not on the red and is not on the purple. Now, all you have to do now is add those numbers. So 1 plus 2 plus 8, and that will give you your number. If you don't know how it works, mathematically speaking, it's something to do with powers of 2 or binary numbers. So 1 can also be expressed. Obviously, you're not going to talk about this with the children, but just because you're here. So 1 can be expressed as 2 to the power 0. 2 is 2 to the power 1. 4 is 2 to the power of 2. 8 is 2 to the power of 3, and so on. And by using these numbers here, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, and 32, and addition, you can make any number from 1 to 60. That's, again, it links again to binary numbers, but using only these 6 numbers and addition, you can make all of the other numbers on display here right now. And it's really interesting. You can also give the cards to the child and ask the child if they can do the trick with you, see if they understand. And if you want to share the secret, it might also be a good opportunity for the child to practice addition. So they can go home with a sheet and try to run that trick with the parents so they can get the whole family involved. Information about the mystery calculator, this is the website. I'll also send you a link if you want to know how it actually works. There it is. This one here is called Mind Reading Math, and there's different ways you can set this up depending on the ability of the child. All you have to do is ask the child to think of a number. Now, if you're dealing with a child that struggles with mental maths, I'll probably give the child a pen and paper so the child can write things down. And you should also limit the number that the child can think of. So if you know the child will struggle, you can say, think of a number between 1 and 5, or think between a number between 1 and 10, or 1 and 20, depending on the child's ability. And then what I do is, because if I know that I will probably need to help the child. And if I'm helping the child might think that I'm leading the child to a specific answer just so that the trick can work. So if I know that I will probably need to intervene and help the child with some of the calculations, what I'll do is I'll get a piece of paper beforehand and I will write a number there, let's say number 3, and I'll fold that piece in half again, quarters, and put it to the side and leave on the table. So leave that paper folded on the table with that number inside. And then we'll say to the child, choose a number between, let's say, 1 and 10. Now, you can all take part on this. Can you, all of you, if you want to take part, just think of a number. You don't have to tell, please don't tell me, obviously, between 1 and 10 or whatever number you want to think of, and see if we can make this work. First step, can you please get your number and double it? So this is very good for children to practice doubling numbers. So again, if you think you will probably need to help the child, you can go through that first step together. You know that is a piece of paper there. You can even say before you start the trick, see that piece of paper there? That piece of paper is going to read your mind. The child's, oh my God, that's cool. So that piece of, yeah, you will work out the number. So the number is going to be inside the paper. So double it. So next step, add 6. And then again, the child is not sure how to add 6. Yeah, help the child get some counters. Again, the outcome is the trick. So hopefully the child will engage because the child will want to see the end of that trick. And then halve it. So you start with a number and then double it, add 6, halve it. And then the final step is take away the first number that you thought of. So the child will probably also might need help with subtraction. That's why it depends on the number that you start with. And you should all have the number 3. Anyone that did not get the number 3? Okay, and that's cool because you can use any number you want. Obviously, you will have to change the way you run the trick. Anyone knows how this game works? Or this trick? Anyone? So what I'll do is I will explain, but please don't explain to the child unless you want to share the magic trick. But it's good because you can do that as many times as you want. The way it works is it doesn't matter the number you start from. Okay, it doesn't matter the number you're going to think of. I will make you end up with whatever number I want you to end up with using mathematics. So if you think of a number, let's say X. Again, don't talk about this with the children, just so you understand this. So if I ask you to double it, so 2x, and I ask you to add 6, and then I ask you to divide the whole thing. So remember, it's a sequence, isn't it? You never go back to the first number. And then I ask you to take away the first number you thought of, x. Now, if you split that fraction into 2, you will see that the first fraction cancel, the 2 cancel with the 2 at the top cancel with the 2 at the bottom. So you have x, take away x, but that x cancels with the other x. So you always end up with the number that you added divided by 2. So if I ask the child to add 6, I know the answer is going to be 3. If I ask the child to add 10, I know the answer is going to be 5. If I ask the child to add 8, I know the answer is going to be 4. So you can have multiple pieces of paper and you write a number on that paper, fold it in quarters, put on the table, say, oh, that paper is going to read your mind. And then you do the same thing again, but that time you add 10 or 8. Again, I think it's a good opportunity to practice addition. That trick involves all 4 multiplication, additional, subtraction, multiplication, division. So you can practice all 4. And if you're helping the child, you can go step by step.